From the Aegean Sea to the Taiwan Strait to the narrow gates of the Strait of Hormuz, even the smallest uninhabited speck of rock can hold immense strategic value in wartime. These islands extend a nation's reach, projecting power over surrounding seas and the resources beneath them. In this scenario, one such island is heavily defended by a long-range S-300 surface-to-air missile system. At the heart of the system is the long-range search radar, designated 76N6 clamshell, continuously scanning the skies. Mounted on an elevated mast, it extends the radar horizon, allowing threats to be detected at significant distances. The engagement radar, 30N6E flaplet, remains silent. It activates only once a contact is classified as hostile and enters effective missile range. The launchers are widely dispersed, each carrying 4 missiles. They rely on targeting data from the engagement radar and are supported by shorter-range, self-contained Buk systems, forming a layered air defense network. Nevertheless, these defenses will be challenged from the air. For attacking aircraft, this creates one of the most demanding mission profiles in modern warfare: the suppression of enemy air defenses. It is a confrontation between systems purpose-built to defeat one another. The defensive systems are in position. The only remaining variable is the attacker. Representing a third-generation strike aircraft is the F-4 Phantom II. First flown in the 1960s, this supersonic platform was adopted by air forces and navies around the world and served across decades of conflict. In this simulation, it returns to a mission it performed in reality: the suppression of enemy air defenses. 2 aircraft form the suppression element, each armed with a pair of AGM-88 anti-radiation missiles. Their objective is disruption, forcing a hostile radar network into hesitation and silence. Supporting them is the strike element, 2 additional Phantoms, each carrying AGM-65 Maverick missiles. Unlike the HARMs, these are optically guided and deliver a significantly heavier payload. They are employed once enemy radars are suppressed or forced offline. From a strategic perspective, the positions of the radars and launchers become clear. At this stage, only the search radar is active, sweeping a broad beam towards the anticipated direction of approach and monitoring a vast volume of airspace. To understand the engagement, we need to look at fundamentals of radar detection. Radar systems require a direct line of sight to detect targets. At longer distances, the curvature of the Earth limits coverage, allowing low-altitude aircraft to remain undetected by flying under the radar. To counter this, radars are placed on elevated terrain and mounted on masts. This extends detection range and reduces interference from ground clutter. In the simulation, the displayed altitude values indicate the minimum height at which targets can be reliably detected. We see the formation separate into 2 elements. Element 1 approaches as low as the pilots can confidently fly. Without modern fly-by-wire systems or terrain-aware autopilots, the aircraft rely entirely on pilot skill and coordination. The second element climbs in altitude, deliberately increasing its visibility to the defenders. Element 2 is attempting to bait a response, operating at the edge of the S-300's estimated engagement envelope. Radar warning receivers light up. They detect short pulses of radiation. This must be the search radar. Both jets of Element 2 are now detected by the defenders. At this stage, they cannot determine whether this is a probing action or the opening phase of an attack. The F-4s make their move. They turn directly towards the island, forcing a decision. The change in course is detected. The defenders commit. The flaplet engagement radar rotates towards the targets and activates. A narrow beam locks onto the 2 aircraft. To understand what follows, we need to examine the S-300 engagement sequence. The system first scans using its search radar. Detected contacts are evaluated and classified. Once confirmed hostile, the engagement radar locks on, focusing a high-energy tracking beam. This enables precise measurement of position, velocity, and trajectory. Using this data, the system calculates an intercept point and transmits guidance data to the missiles prior to launch. After launch, the missile is guided in flight, receiving continuous updates as the target maneuvers. In the terminal phase, it refines its trajectory, homing in on radar energy reflected from the target. Let's continue. Inside the F-4's cockpits, the warning tone changes. The engagement radar is on and locked on them. With the engagement radar now active, the first element commits. They climb into the radar envelope, anti-radiation missiles searching for the source of the emissions. Because the S-300 missiles do not carry active radar emitters, no additional signals are detected at launch. The pilots know they are being tracked, but not whether interceptors are already in flight. Still, they press the attack. Afterburners alight, the aircrafts go into a steep climb to increase missile range. The AGM-88s acquire the radar signals. 2 emitters, search and engagement radar, both locked. Fire and forget. No guidance from the jets is needed, and the Phantoms immediately go defensive. They roll and dive, trading altitude for speed. Other defensive maneuvers cost too much speed, and the F-4s are far less agile than the missiles. They have to get away quickly. However, the defenders have already responded and managed to get out one missile targeting retreating element 2. Coming from behind, the missiles strike with little to no warning. Meanwhile, the attention of the defenders has already shifted to element 1. 4 additional missiles are fired, 2 against each aircraft of element 1. The missiles accelerate rapidly. Within seconds, their fuel is expended, transitioning into a high-speed trajectory towards the intercept point. Now it is Team Red who goes defensive. They shut down the search radar, but the engagement radar has to stay active. The AGM-88s lose one of their targets, but continue towards the last known position. The S-300 missiles arrive first, with enough kinetic energy to wreak havoc on the F-4s. One aircraft is hit. The second evades the first missile, but is struck by another. Element 1 is neutralized. Blue's strike package arrives. 4 anti-radiation missiles descend on the targeted area. The defenders attempt a final intercept. A single Buk missile is launched. With success, 1 AGM-88 is destroyed. The remaining missiles impact, most striking the ground. But one detonates close enough to damage the engagement radar. The engagement is over. 3 F-4s have been lost, an expensive strike yielding only partial success. Although the engagement radar was hit, Blue forces were unable to confirm its destruction. Uncertain of the damage inflicted and reduced to a single remaining aircraft, Blue aborts the mission. The 3rd generation attack aircraft have failed to suppress the SAM site effectively. Will 4th generation aircraft do a better job? Let's restart the simulation. The mission flown by 4th generation aircraft is available in a separate video. Please consider subscribing to support the ongoing development of the simulation engine. It helps me push the project further. And if you're interested in more, including 3D models and additional resources, feel free to check out the link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next Combat Systems simulation.